Welcome back. Welcome back.
Yo, what's up, Base Guru? Good to see you this morning, bro. I'm super late. Nice. Okay. Yo, Dan. Coming in with the prime sub right off the bat. What is up, my dude? Thanks for the support. How have you been, man? Okay, that's definitely working. Excellent. All right. I think we're good to kick it off. Let's kick this puppy straight off a bridge. What does that mean? I don't know. What's going on? Welcome everybody to the stream. Why is this so off? What is going on? The vertical feed looks like dookie. Hold up here. Let's fix it while I'm looking at it. This needs to go maybe behind this. There, now it's right. What? Why would it rearrange? Anyway, I fixed it. Anyway, welcome to the stream, everybody. Happy Monday. Hope everything's going well with you, wherever you're at. Whatever you got going on today. We got game news to talk about. We're going to kick things off with some Halo news. Turns out Halo Infinite actually wasn't infinite. The game with a 10-year plan, which I'm telling you guys, anytime any studio announces a 10-year plan, I'm checked out. I don't believe it'll happen. That's a lot of commitment. You don't know what the gaming landscape's going to look like in 10 years. There's no way for you to do that. All good, working, eating, gymming, gaming, and repeating. Nice. Nice. All right, well, let's jump into some game news this morning. We got news mode active. We'll shift it over here. And the playlist is way too hyped for me today. That's just not going to do it. That's too much. Too high energy for me. Oh, man. I wish the weekend was one extra day. We need to go to a 4-day work week, 3-day weekends all the time. All right, anyway. Welcome to the game news. All right, let's jump in. We got a lot to cover. I say a lot, but I have a lot of opinions on things. Make this guy full screen, and there we go. All right, so this is from Halo Waypoint. This is Halo's like news site directly. That is the wrong thing. There we go. Cut that down a bit. All right, so Operation Infinite update preview. So this is the latest update for Halo Infinite, but is also the last update for Halo Infinite. We'll jump into the details here. Double XP progression, so you can level up the Operation Pass faster. I also think your career rank will level. Yeah, it says that here. So your overall rank will go up faster as well. Their last free operation pass. The last operation pass has some cool looking armors. We haven't talked about Halo Infinite at this scale in a while, but some of this does look pretty cool. I'm tempted to dive back in and play a little Infinite, because it is fun. I didn't like the weapons as much as I liked Halo 5's sandbox. Some of the electricity weapons I didn't care for as much. And then some other armors are going to be thrown back into the exchange, which is their store, I believe. I'm not entirely sure. I've been out of touch since Halo Infinite shifted focus away from like the seasons into the operations. And that change really didn't bother me. I was just kind of done with the game. Technically, though, it's a fun game. A new map coming, and then the roadmap for the rest of the game, I guess, for the next year. Halo Infinite players will continue to find rotating selection of daily and weekly challenges. They've nailed that. Other games that they don't support still do challenges that way, or did for a time. A new slate of ranked seasons awaits. Ranked rotational playlists will continue to change formats periodically to offer a fresh challenge. That's kind of cool. Halo returns to DreamHack. Interesting. Then Halo Fest in December 26th. Convention celebrating Halo's community iconic legacy. That'll be after Campaign Evolved comes out. And then a thank you to everybody. So, yeah, that leads us to Campaign Evolved, which, like I said, right before we actually officially started the show here, this game had a 10-year plan at one point, and I don't see how they were ever going to do that successfully. It's a long article. I do like what they gave us from a certain standpoint. I just wish they had, I don't know, I wish they had just done it a little better, a little different. More modes at launch, more armors. The armor customization was wonky. People didn't like it. It was too restrictive for the options they gave us, and then they fixed all of that. So I saw a comment that said if the game had launched in this state that it's in right now, it would be everybody's favorite Halo game. And that may be true. I mean, it being free to play was a huge thing. So there might be some truth to that, but I don't know. It just missed the mark for me in a bunch of ways. Now, it was still fun. I still enjoyed my time with it, but I might hop back on because we're at the end. Like, this is the end, and then they'll move into Campaign Evolved, which I believe the next article from GamesIndustry.biz says Halo Infinite receives last currently planned major update. Halo Studios refocusing games team to the multiple Halo titles in development. So that includes Campaign Evolved. This article here starts with Halo Studios announced will be delivering the last major update to Halo Infinite this month. Detailed in a blog post, the studio said it'll be refocusing its team to the multiple Halo titles in development, with Operation Infinite being the last major update currently planned for the game. We're fully committed to supporting players with exciting challenges, ranked rewards, and community events throughout the next year and beyond. As Halo Studios team shifts focus to in-development projects such as Halo Campaign Evolved, we'd like to thank our Halo Infinite players for years of steadfast support. So, maybe that leads credence to the rumors that Halo 2 and 3 Evolved, remake, whatever they're going to call them, are actually in the works. I don't know, maybe, because if there's multiple titles in development and it's not just Halo 1 remake and then Halo 7, maybe they give us the original Halo trilogy in a remastered, remade format and then dump us right into Halo 7. I don't know, they could do that. That's a lot. That's a big ask though for a team. I don't know how big they are. It's Microsoft. It could be a bunch of, contractors. It could be a handful of in-house developers. It could be a lot of different things. So I guess it just depends on how the team structure is. But I just don't see that happening over the next couple of years. Maybe through 2030 we start to see that. But I don't know. A 2020 interview, IGN former Halo Infinite studio head Chris Lee cited Halo Infinite as the start of our platform for the future, being part of Microsoft's 10-year plan for the title. So does that give us, 6 more years of just the fact that the game will be live? I mean, who knows? Want Infinite to grow over time versus going to those numbered titles and having all that segmentation that we had before. It's about creating Halo Infinite to start the next 10 years for Halo and then building that as we go with our fans and community. Yeah, I guess, it was actually not infinite. But what is? This is what I was talking about. You talk about these 10-year plans. That's what's being critiqued here. Everybody's bringing up this quote, the fact that they said this at all. And it's like, yeah, but 10 years is such a long time to commit to a game. And when they had no DLC or anything planned for the single player, it was strictly just, okay, well, we're only building the multiplayer out. We're only expanding the multiplayer sandbox, if that much. I guess it's just such a long time. I don't believe you. So they just proved that, it just holds true yet again. The 10-year plan is a lofty goal for any game. And I don't know. Oh, basically, I just saw your comment. Got a chatty coworker today. Funny. But anyway, all right. Well, that's enough talking about Halo. It's finite, and all games are finite. Everything must come to an end. All right. Well, maybe we can go to the next story. All right. Let's talk about the new State of Play announced for November. We're getting toward the end of 25. There's still time for one final State of Play showcase in November. The special Japan and Asia edition of the presentation features special looks at upcoming games where development is localized to those areas. The September edition of State of Play was a biggie. We got an exclusive Wolverine gameplay trailer. Okay, why are we reflecting on the last one? Let's talk about what's coming. Sony PlayStation unveils new State of Play showcase. State of Play Japan and Asia broadcast takes place November 11th or November 12th in Japan. Starting at 2 p.m. Pacific time, 5 p.m. Eastern, 11 p.m. CEST, or 7 a.m. Japan Standard Time. This Tuesday, we're bringing you a special episode of State of Play running for more than 40 minutes, focusing on games created in Japan and across Asia, alongside a few other exciting updates. From beloved series to distinctive indie creations, the show, hosted by voice actor Yuki Kaji, will be packed with great games, interviews, and new looks at anticipated titles. Interestingly, it'll be 40 minutes long, so it's not short. I mean, 40 minutes long, but if they're going into a deep dive into like mechanics for a game that nobody is gonna, not everybody's excited for, I guess. What can we expect from a Sony State of Play event in November 25? Any big titles being developed in Asia taking a keen to get a status report on listing key games. Okay, that's just telling me to engage. My thing is, I hope that the stuff they announce eventually finds its way west, but obviously not all of it would. We still have a high number of exclusives that just come out in Japan, although that number is changing. That number is getting smaller. It's gonna be interesting. I imagine that something from Hoyo Labs, Genshin Impact, that we'll talk about that later. We have a story about their next big game. But, we do see these studios like Cognosphere, I guess is the studio. I don't know. Whoever makes Genshin and Star Rail and Zenless Zone Zero, like those guys are releasing a new game. And maybe that shows up there. Maybe we get some other looks at games that are eventually coming west, but they're just being celebrated because they're going to come out first in Japan and Asia territories. So, that's cool. I'm excited to see what they show, but I'm probably not going to do a live react to it. But I might pull it up. I don't know. Depends on what was the time for it. What did it say? 2 p.m. Pacific time? That's going to be weird. I don't know. Yeah, we're definitely just going to watch that offline and react to that later. But it's kind of cool. Interesting to see a end of the year announcement show. Usually that stuff happens to, those whatever's about to be announced is usually saved towards like January or February. But I don't know. All right, moving on. I thought this was interesting. So we talked last week about the PlayStation Portal getting a big update. Did we talk about it last week here? The PlayStation Portal now has a purpose. Just in case we need to recap. They added cloud streaming to it off of Sony servers. It's been in beta, but it officially came out. The PlayStation Portal now has purpose. But the Sony senior manager overseeing the PlayStation Portal says that the handheld device is now the most widely used device for the PS5 remote play feature, surpassing PS4, PC, PS4, PS5, and mobile. I don't know what that really means. Maybe the article explains. PlayStation 4 is now the most popular Sony device that players use for remote play. See, that makes way more sense. But it says, Senior Manager of Product Management says the Portal now has become the most widely used device for PS5 remote play, surpassing mobile, PC, PS5, and PS4. That's not what this sentence says. I don't know. It's kind of weird. Does anybody use a PS5 for remote play from another PS5? Is that possible? That seems weird. Sony's also looking to boost engagement with the Portal's new cloud streaming feature, which will arrive in the next update. Sony's revealed new statistics for PlayStation Portal, confirming it's now the most popular PlayStation device to use for remote play. Adding cloud streaming to it just made it more useful. I guess if you're in a multi-device house, or you have like kids, like I could see it being useful if you only have the PlayStation, but the kids want to watch TV, so you put something up on, the Roku or whatever, and then you just leave your PlayStation on, but just start playing on your Portal instead of using the TV. That's why that's the use case, right? However, the addition of cloud streaming means this device now has way more practicality, and it's not just a local network Wii U situation. That's kind of what it felt like. It's like a Wii U that doesn't have asymmetrical multiplayer games. I guess they talk about the update a little bit here. But it's cool. I guess it's interesting that it's so widely used for remote play, but that's all it was built for. So, yes, it stands to reason that people would buy it for remote play, because that's all it was designed for. That's all we were marketed with. Hey, you use it for remote play, and that's it. And so, why would I use my phone if I could have a bigger screen and better controls and not need an awkward clip mount or something, Consequently, this could also be an Xbox. I'm not sure about the branding, but that might be an Xbox. So, I'll just take that and leave that there. All right, let's move on. Arc Raiders, we can't stop talking about this. I have yet to play this game, and it's just dominating podcast discussion and the news cycle. Arc Raiders peaks again 10 days after launch and beats some insanely popular games. So this came out as of this morning. It had a really good weekend. Despite Arc Raiders having been on the market for more than 10 days, the game is still surpassing expectations and climbing on certain platforms. Hours ago, the post-apocalyptic extraction shooter managed to secure a new record on Steam, climbing to a peak of 462,488 players, beating the previous high of 416,517 players. The constantly climbing peak is indicative of the quality of this game. The smash hit from Embark Studios continues to turn heads worldwide, and millions of players are flooding the accessible, welcoming platform. Let's see. Arc Raiders isn't your typical extraction shooter. For starters, it's a third-person shooter with heavy social aspects, and it's designed to ideally be treated as a PvE game in many ways. It has been soaring up the charts since dropping on October 30, and it shows absolutely no signs of slowing down. Yesterday, the game hit a peak user count, 460,517 on Steam, but in recent hours, the peak has climbed further to 462,488 players. It's bucking trends, but this multiplayer-only shooter is getting stronger over time rather than the player count inevitably dying out, though it's only been 10 days. People are liking it. It's getting a lot of good coverage. It seems to be a well-made game, so that's fair, I don't know. I'm excited to see a new IP, a new game be so successful. Thanks to Knowledge for the lurk and the hydrate. Let's see. Embark recently revealed a stunning roadmap for our creators, promises to keep the game stoked for the time being, but the team has suggested it wants to support our creators for a decade. Oh, there we go, 10-year plan. All right, so the days are already numbered for this game. It may be fantastic, but 4 years is what we're getting. 4 years of updates. And in that time, it may change drastically. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know what the future holds, but I have a hard time believing a 10-year plan for any game, any live service game. All right, let's move on. Okay, spoilers ahead. Super Mario Galaxy movie merch leaks Yoshi and Bowser Jr. So spoilers. If you don't want to know they're in the movie, I'm sorry. First look at Yoshi and Bowser Jr. from the Mario Galaxy movie comes from, well, a grocery chain. The film, set to release April 3rd, 2026, has yet to get a full trailer, but the new listing may hint at it coming sooner than we thought. Illumination Universal Pictures went big with the Super Mario Bros. Movie back in 2022, the first film based on a Nintendo IP in decades. It became the highest grossing video game adaptation of all time. Hey, Brent, good to see you this morning. A sequel was quickly greenlit, and earlier this year was revealed to be called the Super Mario Galaxy Movie. Story details were thin outside of using Super Mario Galaxy, but now we have some more content from an unlikely source: slice and bake cookies. So first look at Yoshi and Bowser Jr. Super Mario Galaxy Movie leaked online. It's these Pillsbury cookies. Interesting. Uh-oh, we opened Twitter. No, we're doomed. I just want a closer look at the packaging. So they're Yoshi egg cookies. Interesting. And then we have the back of the package as well. That is definitely Bowser Jr. The Comet Observatory. That looks cool. Interesting idea. Let's get back to the article. So the leak comes from an unlikely source, Tops Markets. The East Coast grocery chain put up a new listing for Pillsbury, the Super Mario Galaxy shaped sugar cookie dough. Man, that's a weird product name. It's still up, linked here if you want to look at it, but it's out of stock. On the box, we have the best look at Yoshi, who is at the end of the Super Mario Bros. Movie via a cracked sewer egg. His design differs a bit from his video game counterpart with smoother texturing and flatter eyes. Yeah, it's true. I don't know, it looks like Yoshi, though. It's not too different. On the back, there's a fun little maze to fill out. We do get to see some of the worlds Mario and Yoshi will be traveling to, though it's hard to tell if they come from Super Mario Galaxy or its sequel. However, one icon should be familiar to fans: Bowser Jr.'s graffiti tag. Character, the son of Bowser, played and filmed by Jack Black, has yet to be revealed, so his inclusion here is all but confirming his appearance. Yes, there is a rumored trailer supposed to drop. I just find it weird that a grocery store would list this already, and I don't know, that's odd. Anyway, so yeah, that's what Yoshi looks like. These leaks are getting just absurd with the sourcing, but I guess as when you start to get it big like this, right, like Nintendo is huge and they're just getting bigger by going into movies and like this kind of merchandising and branding and marketing and stuff. This stuff is bound to happen, you know, like every year we get these pre-sliced cookies that have little pictures on them. That's part of Christmas, part of the Halloween season. We see them all the time. But now it's like, okay, but now they're Mario branded, so we're gonna talk about them, right? But yeah, that stuff is bound to leak because people are more excited about seeing their favorite like games and stuff represented here than the same old thing we normally see. But crazy, all right? Like that's such a crazy source. Like, hey, these Pillsbury cookies spoiled Yoshi for everybody. Sorry if anybody's spoiled by this. All right, let's move on. We were talking about Hoyoverse, MiHoYo. Yes, that's who it is. Releases first tease for new Unreal Engine 5 fantasy MMO. And yes, it uses AI. So this is an image from MiHoYo for whatever they're going to be releasing. But the developer behind Genshin Impact and Honkai Star Rail and other gacha titles has released a teaser video for its upcoming Unreal Engine 5 project. It's a fantasy MMO, which, you guessed it, makes use of AI. MiHoYo's hiring department posted a video and additional project information on a Chinese social media platform. I'm not going to try to pronounce it. The post lists out a number of key quirks of the game, including MMO, PvP, open world, artificial intelligence stimulated ecosystem, all-terrain battle AI, and intellectual NPC, in air quotes. Intellectual NPC. I don't know what that means. It's worth noting that these are translated, and therefore the exact wording must be taken with a grain of salt. However, it does provide some manner of insight into one of MiHoYo's big upcoming projects. First of all, one immediate thing one can see from the post is that the aesthetic of this mysterious new project isn't MiHoYo's typical anime style. Instead, you see the obvious marks of Unreal Engine 5. I would like to see the video. I don't know where it is. I'm curious what AI means in this. I guess we could go to reset era and see. Did we open this? I don't know if this link actually opened. Aha, it did. Okay. Oh, we do have a trailer. All right. Well, we'll be tracked by the Chinese government or something. I'm sure we already are. I don't know if you guys can hear that or not. There's not much to hear. Just noises.
小红书
Alright, and it just looped. But, interesting. There's all sorts of stuff going on. It looks a little grittier and less bubbly than their usual style. And then, like, a poster? Okay. We're not gonna go too far down this. Oh, they straight up say it's Unreal Engine 5, UE5. Okay, cool. I don't know what this is gonna do, but maybe we'll see this at the state of play. That would track, right? Like, that would make sense to me. All right, let's move on. All right, let's talk about delays. Marvel 1943 Rise of Hydra has received another delay beyond early 2026. Game was previously set to release in 25 and now no longer has a release window. That's not a good sign. Been delayed for a second time, its publisher has announced. Back in May, the game, which was previously set to release in 2025, was officially delayed to early 26. Now, in a statement posted on its official X account, publisher Skydance Games announced that the game has now been delayed further to an unconfirmed release window. At Skydance Games, our goal is to deliver unforgettable premium games that honor the characters and worlds we're fortunate to work with. Marvel 1943 Rise of Hydra is an ambitious project, and we are committed to ensuring it meets the level of quality our team, players, and fans expect. To fully realize our vision for Marvel 1943 Rise of Hydra, we've made the decision to shift our release window beyond early 26. Grateful for the passion and support from the communities and players around the world, the team is working hard to create something truly special, and we look forward to sharing more with you as development progresses. All right, so that's concerning. Very curious what the delay is from. Maybe added content, maybe the scope got bigger. I don't know. I'm looking forward to this one. This game looked cool in the trailers and stuff. So hopefully we get to see more soon, because I definitely want to jump into this game when it launches. It looks awesome. All right, let's move on. Grand Theft Auto 6. We talked about this a little on the podcast if you caught it over on the Gaming Roundtable, but let's talk about it here because it's my news show and I want it now. Grand Theft Auto 6 has been delayed again to the end of 2026. We are sorry for adding additional time to what we realize has been a long wait, Rockstar says. It says, hi everyone. Let's just read the statement from Twitter. Hi everyone. Grand Theft Auto 6 will now release on Thursday, November 19th, 2026. We're sorry for adding additional time to what we realize has been a long wait, but these extra months will allow us to finish the game with the level of polish you've come to expect and deserve. Fair enough. Second major delay for one of the most eagerly anticipated releases in entertainment. The game was previously supposed to release in fall 25, but earlier this year, Rockstar posted a statement announcing the game had been moved back to May 26. So it's interesting. They didn't... Did they give a date? Or it's just... Yeah, it's November 19th. I did read it and I immediately forgot it because that's where I'm at this morning. So everybody having games come out in spring just took a sigh of relief last week when they read this. But now the holiday early or late fall, early holiday like sales windows are now just ruined. Call of Duty, whatever else comes out in like September through December, sales are about to be trashed because GTA 6 is coming out in November and nobody's going to buy anything else. Crazy to think that this game of all games got another delay, but we've been waiting this long. What's a few more months? You know, no big deal. That's it. This time next year, we'll be seeing leaks and other leaked trailers and whatever else comes with a new game. But exciting to see nonetheless. Bummer it got delayed, but hey, if it's what they need to make it better, let it be delayed. All right, let's move on. I thought this was cool. Nintendo launches Switch 2 backward compatibility search page. Find out if the Switch game you want to play is compatible. I don't know why this exists. That's kind of cool. It's as simple as typing a Switch game into the search bar and it will reveal if it's supported or not. Nintendo also notes how search results include both physical and digital versions of software. The search functionality extends to apps, and search may or may not include additional information such as recent patches. Other searches will result in incompatible or unsupported, as you can see in the screenshots below, with Nintendo even acknowledging specific issues. So instead of having to refer to the official PDFs or other search methods on Nintendo's website, you can now simply enter the game title in the search bar and find out if the software you want to play is compatible on the Switch 2. So it's very interesting. Oh, see, I didn't know Nier Automata had issues. When Nintendo initially revealed Switch game compatibility for Switch 2, it mentioned at the time how not every game would be supported at launch, but explained how the work to make more games compatible was ongoing. This new search page means you can now regularly check the status of games that may not yet be compatible with the Switch 2 and see if there are any updates. Shadow Advance, good to see you in chat. How are you doing today? I saw something and I don't know, we have time to fool with it here. I'm trying to see what else we have on. All right, we have one other thing to talk about. But supposedly, if you like type a game in, so let's type Breath of the Wild. All right, let's see. Breath of the Wild is supported game behaviors consistent with Switch. So apparently, like, the images that they're putting here are like super high quality. Oh my gosh. Yes, that is like a full screen. That's an awesome wallpaper. So that's what people were talking about with this service, is these images are really high quality and you could just go and get title art and key art for Nintendo games or games that are on the Switch, and hey, now you have a bunch of wallpapers. I think that's super cool. You know, like, that's a really high res image. I'm curious now because that's let's see, inspect. Just give me the details. It's 1080. Okay, it was a 1080p image. Sorry, hacking. All right, anyway, that's super cool. I'm gonna go mess with that some more. All right, let's talk about our last thing. CRKD or Cracked. I don't know what the brand is. They make guitars for like Guitar Hero and stuff still. Teases drum kit controller coming 2026. I gotta tell you guys, I wanted to talk about this because Rock Band used to be a big like fixation for me for a while. Me and friends would get together and play Rock Band for hours, like daily. Like, I don't think if I didn't play any other game, we would get together and play a couple songs in Rock Band. I say recently, like a couple years ago, got rid of all of my stuff. But now seeing another drum kit being released, I kind of want to pick this up. But this week, accessory maker Cracked teased a new drum kit controller slated to launch sometime next year. Coming off the Hive, their well-received and very lovely bit of kit, Les Paul guitar controllers, players can now look forward to having a chance to score a modern drum kit many years after the death of the peripheral-based wave of rhythm games, because no band can go without a good drummer, really. If you're interested in more details, you can head over to the company's official website to sign up for notifications. Until then, sit back and relax because we've got a year to kill, or you can check out our review of Cracked Les Paul Gibson controller, which is something I wanted to check out, but I would need to acquire a copy of Rock Band on Xbox, because that was the last platform. I done all the entitlements and stuff to get like songs to move over from Rock Band 3, which is a 360 game. And yeah, that was the last time I had really messed with it. So I don't know. I'm kind of tempted. I don't know. My kid might like it. It might be an expense that I don't need though. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I just thought it was cool. I think rhythm games are going to come back in a very niche way. I'm hoping we get like a resurgence because Fortnite Festival kind of hits that, you know, sort of. Maybe this works with it like natively, but I'd be curious to see what all platforms this works with. It'd be cool if it worked with older Xboxes, even if it was just USB, like Xbox 360. If it was just USB and it worked well with that, but then it could also be used on the Xbox One series. It'd be really cool. Anyway, all right, well, that's all the news for today. That's all I got to talk about. But I hope you guys are doing good. Thanks for being here in chat, wherever you're watching from. Appreciate you. It's cool. Been a fun time this morning talking about, well, mostly Halo, right? Mostly Halo being infinite or no longer infinite. Sorry, I was distracted by well, someone being dumb in chat. Oh, Shadow Advance. I have started playing Pokemon ZA. Been streaming it. It's up on the channel if you want to go watch the current playthrough we were playing last night. Check out the channel playlist to get to see how slowly I'm progressing through the game. But anyway, that's all I got time for, guys. We'll find somebody to raid, and then I'm gonna go to work and do work things. I'm not a big fan of it, but hey, we gotta do what we gotta do. Let's see. Who are we sending it to? I don't think we're gonna send it to anybody. Let's not fool with it. I don't feel like it this morning. All right, love you guys. Y'all have a good day. I'm done. I'll see you later. Adios.